Let's talk about copper, a metal that's quietly essential to our modern lives. From the wiring in your home to the circuits in your smartphone, copper is everywhere, powering the world in ways most of us never even notice. But this week, a single decision in Washington sent shockwaves through the global economy, and suddenly, everyone is paying attention. The Trump administration just announced a sweeping new policy, a 50% tariff, slapped on every ounce of imported copper. The official line? It's about protecting American jobs, revitalizing domestic industry, and defending national security. The message from the White House is clear: America first, no matter the cost. But let's be honest, this move is less like a fire extinguisher and more like tossing gasoline onto a raging blaze. It's dramatic, reckless, and almost guaranteed to make things worse. Instead of dousing the flames of economic uncertainty, this tariff is fanning them higher, threatening to burn through industries and livelihoods across the country. This isn't just another trade policy squabble or a minor diplomatic spat, it's a self-inflicted economic wound, a decision that risks bleeding American businesses and workers dry. Economists are sounding the alarm, warning that the ripple effects could be felt for years to come. The fallout is already spreading. Copper is the backbone of everything from home wiring and electric vehicles to massive power turbines and renewable energy projects. With prices suddenly skyrocketing, manufacturers are scrambling to find alternatives, and costs are being passed down the line, to builders, to businesses, and ultimately, to every American family. And it's not just Americans who are feeling the heat. Our allies are furious, blindsided by a policy that seems to ignore decades of partnership and cooperation. In capitals from Berlin to Tokyo, leaders are looking at Washington and wondering if we've lost our collective minds. A 50% tax on copper isn't a surgical strike, it's a carpet bomb dropped on the global economy. It doesn't just hit one country or one industry, it sends shockwaves through supply chains, disrupts trade routes, and leaves chaos in its wake. The immediate aftermath? Global markets went into freefall, copper prices soared to record highs overnight, and manufacturers from Detroit to Delhi were left reeling. Factory floors are slowing down, workers are worried about layoffs, and consumers are bracing for higher prices on everything from electronics to cars. The administration sold this policy as a way to get tough on China, to curb their dominance in the copper market and level the playing field, but in reality, it's having the opposite effect. By making imported copper more expensive, we're handing China an even bigger share of the global supply chain, while our own industries struggle to keep up. Instead of weakening China's grip, we're strengthening it. Our friends and trading partners are being punished, forced to pay more or look elsewhere for copper. Meanwhile, China is poised to step in, offering deals and deepening its influence in markets we're now pushing away. It's like gearing up to punch your rival, only to miss completely and accidentally deck your own grandmother at the dinner table. The intention might have been bold, but the execution is painfully misguided. In the world of strategy, this is an own goal of epic proportions. Instead of scoring points for American industry, we're watching the scoreboard flip backwards, as our competitors gain ground and our allies lose faith. And make no mistake, we're all going to feel the consequences. From families opening shockingly high utility bills, to factories slowing production, to workers facing layoffs, the pain will be widespread and long-lasting. The cost of this spectacular misfire will be measured in lost jobs, higher prices, and strained relationships at home and abroad. And as for the aftershocks, they're just beginning. The world is watching, markets are trembling, and the true impact of this tariff will ripple out for months, if not years, to come. The question now isn't just what happens next, but how we'll recover from a decision that truly shook the world. Why does copper matter? It's a question most people never think to ask, but the answer is woven into the fabric of our daily lives. Copper isn't just another metal, it's the silent powerhouse that keeps our world running, often unnoticed, but absolutely essential. Think of copper as the nervous system of modern civilization. Just as nerves carry signals throughout your body, copper carries electricity and data through the veins of our cities, homes, and industries. Without it, the world as we know it would grind to a halt. Your phone, your lights, your car, none of it works without copper. Every time you send a text, flip a switch, or start your engine, copper is there, making it possible. It's in the wires behind your walls, the circuits in your devices, and the batteries that power your life. And as we move toward a greener future, copper's role only grows. The green energy transition? It's all about copper. Electric cars, wind turbines, solar panels. Every new technology that promises a cleaner tomorrow relies on copper to make it work. Did you know an electric car uses 4 times more copper than a gas car? A single wind turbine can contain several tons of copper, and every solar panel installation is laced with copper wiring. The more we innovate, the more copper we need. So what happens if copper gets expensive? Suddenly, everything from building a new home to powering a hospital costs more. Make copper expensive, and you make the future expensive. The price of copper ripples through every sector, raising costs for businesses and families alike. But it's not just about economics, it's national security too. Our military depends on copper for everything from advanced communications to the most sophisticated defense systems. Without a steady supply, our security is at risk. The Pentagon's high-tech gear, drones, satellites, encrypted networks, all run on copper. It's the backbone of our defense technology, quietly ensuring our safety. Disrupt the supply and you don't just slow down production, you weaken our military's ability to respond, to protect, to innovate. A shortage or price spike in copper can halt assembly lines and delay critical equipment. This tariff isn't a tax on luxury, it's a tax on the circulatory system of our economy and defense. It's a hidden cost that seeps into every corner of our lives, from the gadgets we use to the security we depend on. Copper touches every American, whether they realize it or not. It's in the devices we hold, the cars we drive, the homes we live in, and the jobs we work. It connects us all, invisibly but powerfully. The consequences of disrupting copper's flow will be as widespread as copper itself, reaching across industries, borders, and generations. In a world built on copper, every change in its supply or price sends shockwaves through our lives, shaping the future for everyone. So, how was this policy justified? The administration claims it's about America first, protecting domestic mining from unfair foreign competition. The ideas slap on tariffs, revive American mines, create jobs, and become self-sufficient. They invoke national security, using old trade laws to justify the move. The logic relying on foreign copper is a vulnerability, so force a domestic supply chain no matter the cost. It's a nostalgic vision, bring back the glory days of American industry. But is this a bold strategy or just economic fantasy? Here's the reality check. The US barely imports raw copper from China. Most of our copper comes from allies, Chile, Canada, Mexico, Peru. These are our partners, not adversaries. Slapping them with tariffs is like charging your friends to come over for dinner. The backlash was instant. Canada and Chile are furious, threatening retaliation. We're damaging key alliances for a policy that doesn't even hit the intended target. Instead of hurting China, we're punishing the very countries that keep our copper supply stable. It's a diplomatic own goal. We're eroding trust and cooperation with our closest partners. The missile missed China and landed in our own backyard. The fallout? We're more isolated than ever. So, what does the tariff actually do? It hands China more power. China isn't a big exporter of raw copper, but it dominates copper refining. Most South American copper ends up in Chinese smelters. By making US imports expensive, we push suppliers to sell to China instead. The result? China tightens its grip on the global copper market. They buy raw copper, refine it, and sell it back to the world, including us, at a premium. Experts call this tariff a gift to Beijing. China's long-term strategy is working. We're helping them. The nation that controls copper refining controls manufacturing, tech, and defense. Our tariff doesn't disrupt China's plan, it accelerates it. We're isolating ourselves and making China stronger. The immediate impact? Copper prices in the US exploded overnight. In just a matter of hours, the cost of copper shot up to levels not seen in decades, sending shockwaves through financial markets and leaving investors scrambling to make sense of the sudden surge. News outlets flashed urgent headlines and traders watched in disbelief as the price ticked higher and higher, breaking records and setting off alarms across the global economy. Every industry that relies on copper, construction, electronics, cars, just saw costs skyrocket. Copper is the backbone of modern infrastructure, found in everything from the wiring in new homes to the circuits in smartphones and electric vehicles. When copper prices jump, the ripple is felt everywhere. Builders, manufacturers, and tech companies all face higher bills for the raw materials they need to keep their businesses running. Even small increases can squeeze profit margins, but this spike is unprecedented. Companies can't absorb a 50% increase, so projects are delayed, production halts, and jobs are at risk. Construction sites go quiet as budgets are blown overnight. Factory lines slow or stop entirely, with workers left waiting for the green light to resume. Office lights flicker off as layoffs become inevitable and headlines warn of a wave of unemployment that could sweep through entire sectors. The US doesn't have enough domestic copper to meet demand. Despite being rich in natural resources, American copper mines can't keep up with the needs of a modern electrified economy. Imports fill the gap, but when global prices soar, the US is left vulnerable, forced to compete with other nations for a limited supply. Building new mines and smelters takes years and billions of dollars. Even if the government fast-tracked permits and companies broke ground tomorrow, it would be years before new copper hits the market. The process is slow, expensive, and fraught with environmental and regulatory hurdles. In the meantime, shortages persist, and prices remain high. The ripple effects are everywhere. New homes cost more, cars get pricier, and inflation rises. The cost of copper is baked into the price of almost everything we buy, from the appliances in our kitchens to the cars in our driveways. As copper gets more expensive, so does everything else, fueling a new wave of inflation that hits families and businesses alike. Companies face impossible choices: raise prices or lay off workers. For many, there's no good option. Some pass the cost on to customers, risking lost sales and angry backlash. Others cut staff, hoping to survive until prices stabilize. Small businesses, already stretched thin, are especially vulnerable, forced to make tough decisions just to keep the lights on. The Federal Reserve's fight against inflation just got harder. Policymakers now face a dilemma. raise interest rates to cool inflation, or risk stalling the economy and deepening the pain for workers and businesses. The copper crisis adds a new layer of complexity to an already challenging economic landscape. This isn't just about copper, it's about the price of everything that uses copper. From the smallest electronic gadget to the largest power grid, copper is everywhere. Its price touches every corner of the economy, making this more than just a commodity story. It's a story about the cost of modern life itself. From your electricity bill to your next phone, costs will rise. Families will notice higher utility bills, and the price tag on the latest tech will climb. Even everyday essentials like refrigerators and washing machines will become more expensive, squeezing household budgets and forcing tough choices at the checkout line. The tariff, meant to protect jobs, could end up destroying them. By making copper more expensive, the policy backfires, putting American workers at risk and threatening the very industries it was supposed to help. Protests erupt as workers demand answers, and factories that once bustled with activity now stand silent. It's a trade war with real casualties, American workers and consumers. The pain isn't abstract, it's felt in lost paychecks, higher prices, and growing uncertainty about the future. As the trade war drags on, the toll mounts, and the promise of protection gives way to the reality of hardship. And the pain is just beginning. The effects of this copper crisis will linger for months, even years, reshaping industries, altering the job market, and changing the way Americans live and work. As wallets get lighter and factories grow quieter, the true cost of this trade war becomes impossible to ignore. Now look ahead, this tariff could shift global power. If we alienate our suppliers, we risk losing control over copper pricing. The BRICS nations, China, Russia, Brazil, India, South Africa, are building their own commodity systems. They could create a new metals exchange, pricing copper in their currencies, not dollars. The US would become a price taker, not a price maker. Our economic security would depend on decisions made in Beijing and Moscow. This tariff could be the catalyst for a new global order, one where we have no say. By punishing allies and disrupting the system, we're creating a power vacuum. China and its partners are ready to fill it. We could wake up to find we've handed them the keys to the kingdom. So is this tariff a masterstroke or a disaster? The administration claims it's about national security, but critics say it's chaos. Allies are preparing to retaliate, targeting American goods. The World Trade Organization will be flooded with disputes. Instead of uniting against unfair practices, we've started a trade war with our friends. And the jobs? For every mining job saved, dozens in manufacturing are at risk. We're threatening high-tech industries to prop up a shrinking sector. Are we securing our future or mortgaging it? This America First policy may ensure America finishes last. The only question left: how bad will the damage be?